The big All Planets Factorio Space Age Marathon Episode 4. We've got a bunch of mod planets in here, but at the moment we're still getting around to building our first red ships. Yeah, researching sulfur. A lot of furnaces set up for this now, and we're going to build our first red ships based on 2 belts of plastic, which is a lot, because we have a 60 times tech multiplier in the map settings, and we also have biters on. We're not going to worry so much about those. We have, yeah, things we did last time include 3 different malls. Like, this is the 3rd of the malls we've got, so that when we get to bots, there's a lot of things for bots to pick up and use. We've got kind of the main mall by one of the science builds. We also put together this little power mall with, yeah, we're not going to worry about them yet. Yeah, with steel for where engines and blue science are going. And yeah, we've got a bunch of power grid that is ghosted that we're going to worry about when we get to bots, and they can do that for us. We just did the easy, simple linear bits. And yeah, we don't have all the refineries in place yet. We do have a couple of tanks sitting around, so let's build some red ships, I guess. And then I think I accidentally vibed my way into a good set of ratios. Like, we've got, in the sense that we've got 2 belts of plastic, which we're going to have to get past these pump jacks. We're also going to have to get the iron past these pump jacks. But yeah, we did 3 belts of iron from this patch out to the east, which I think we put radars by, but not gun turrets. And then we did 5 belts of copper from this patch here. Are all these things going to be in the way? Maybe. And it struck me afterwards that we actually accidentally ratioed that really well, in the sense of, yeah, a bunch of extra fluids. Oh, well, never mind. If we're building red chips, and we've got 2 belts of plastic, that means we need 4 belts of copper cables, which means 2 belts of copper, which means 2 of these belts are kind of spoken for copper cable. And then we also need 2 belts of electronic circuits, and that means that we will be spending 2 belts of electronic circuits, 2 belts of iron, 3 belts of copper, which happens to be exactly the 5 belts of stuff we've built here. So that's worked out really well. And we also want to get somehow more green chips for modules as well. Yeah, we're gonna need the space back, I think, which I think means that the plastic is going to go immediately. In fact, maybe the plastic should run through here where there's a bit more space. We can just run it straight underneath the radar and be fine. And yeah, we're going to want modules from this as well. Which I think we can then eke out the productivity bonuses. Like, we will need more than 2 belts of green chips in order to get red chips. Yeah, in order to get 2 belts of plastic and modules. And I think we're just going to manage all of that with productivity modules, which we have not researched yet. So we're going to need the prods and speed, and then the blue science, and we've just committed ourselves to 9, 12, another 16 and a half, and then we've got the rest of this. Yeah, so we've got about another 20,000 science to do, which we are banging out at 600 per minute, so that's fine. And yeah, let's just start making some green chips, I guess. Yeah, I think I do want to worry about a layout of red chips first, and I think it's going to be a very normal kind. Oh, I should have ghosted these because they might not be going here, but I think we want to go a very simple thing like so, with 3 actually undergrounds here, because we are kind of planning where beacons will go later. And so we can have, I think it's going to be copper cable on the inside, plastic on the inside, and then green chips and red chips on the outside like so, so that we can flip this around and then do another whole one of these guys like this. But I don't know that we've got these inserters will be fine, because we can just make sure these inputs and outputs are doing what they need to. We need to make sure that this one here is the output belt, so these inserters here need to be around the other way. So we can have a full belt of green chips in here, effectively half a belt of green chips in either side, which is cool. So I think we still want, yeah, we want to end up with 3 belts of green chips. But the other thing that I am thinking is, because we have, yeah, we have more iron than we need here, and so I think we're going to maul some other things as well. And in particular, can we go, if we go right like so, because we are expecting less than a full belt of usage here, which means that basically what I want to set up is gears into belt into red belt, because I think having some amount of red belt around the place is going to be useful. And then we need to also get more, yeah, see how many more gears we can smash into this red belt, because we're going to need a lot of it. Like, this guy's probably not going to be fully utilized, but never mind. Yeah, 2 in here. Actually, this guy may as well be like here also. This is going to utilize a full belt, isn't it? So I think that means we can, yeah, whatever, it's going to be fine. We are going to just have a lot of red belts sitting around that we can work with. When we get around to that, it's going to be good. Because, yeah, the thing we've immediately said about this pattern is this belt here in the middle. If we're trying to push extra green chips in to sushi some modules into that, we're going to need some red belt to make all of that work. So, here, and then I guess here, and this, yeah, overflow belt of stuff can just get in like so. And then we are eventually making red belt. Maybe we should be, yeah, that's actually a thing we need to respond to. Where is it though? That coal that I was hoping would not get attacked. Yeah, let's talk about biters when we come back and figure out how that build is going to work. We do have, like, we are on kind of marathon settings of a 60 times tech multiplier, but we have also kind of bottlenecked our way in here. Yeah, we were going to have this area as a space we could drive through, wasn't it? Never mind. Yeah, we do have a lag spike. We have backed off the biter settings a whole lot, in the sense that we aren't going to have to do the do I have, yeah, these guys. We aren't going to be forced into doing the flip this up this way, prioritize the middle one, sure. Yeah, we aren't going to be forced into the flamethrowers and landmines thing that Marathon... Where are you powered from? You powered from... Oh, you're powered from there. Yeah, we aren't going to be forced into the landmines, flamethrowers thing that Marathons often are. The biters are going to advance, but they are not going to advance at a level that goes that quickly, with the result that we will still have to make interesting decisions. Like, I'm not even going to bother putting wall over there. The other gun turrets that ran out of ammo, which if we came back this far, we should put some of this ammo over here. Yeah, like if we were in the full-size 1,000 tech multiplier marathon that I've seen some people do, we would have to go and push those nests pretty much immediately. It would be a struggle. We wouldn't really have that many decisions we could make about it, but set up as it is, what did we hit? Oh, we hit the side of that mine or whatever. And we can choose to be a little cheeky and try and get the rest of these red chips online. Now, do I want red undergrounds here as well? I think we're going to skip the red undergrounds and just try and get the rest of this thing built. We didn't actually limit these chests, did we? Which I think I'm kind of okay with, because they're only ever taking the overflow from this thing. Okay, so question is, how many green chips do we want to try to make? And I think we want to do... I think we're going to try 6. If we do 6 of these things, 6 coils into 6 green chips, this is not quite 1.5. 7 is a full belt, isn't it? Oh, we can also think about this in terms of the... We can also do this brain math in terms of the coils, because we want to turn 3 belts of coils into green chips, and then 2 into coils for the red chip. So I'm talking myself into doing 8 like so, and then we're going to set up... this iron is going to come in here. We have not left enough space. We're going to have to do that again, because I'm trying to figure out... Oh, yeah, we're going to have... We're going to move all of these slightly so that we can use long-handed inserters, off which I think we're going to need to go... Are we going to need to go back to them all? I don't think we're really going to need to go back to them all. I don't think we're going to be using these long-handed and... Yeah, I don't think we're going to be using these regular inserters at all. It's mostly going to be fast inserters, and then let's just bang all of those into long-handed. Yeah. Okay, so where did we... I wanted... Should we also leave a gap? We should not leave a gap. We should just build densely, I think. This is going to be the output belt, which means that this one is going to be the iron input belt, which means we want the green chips here. I don't know if... I also don't know whether or not these long-handed inserters are going to keep up, but we are going to be doing the inserter capacity bonus as well, but we're also planning on doing double prods in these, and then 1 speed, 1 prod in these coils. Yeah, because we are thinking about moduling all of this more or less immediately, kind of because we're here. Like, this is the spot where the modules would happen. You guys get all of your inputs and then also have outputs to here, and the reason we've done it like so, is this going to connect this, is that in here we can just kick this up a bit and go underground something. So now we can have both of these guys putting this stuff on either side, which I like a lot. And then, yeah, I think the other way we're going to manage this... Oh, wait, we've got to have... Yeah, we've got to kick an underground in here, because we're going to have these other belts through. And then I think we just do that a couple of times. Oh, I'm out of regular belt? Really? I've got a solution for that as well. I guess we're just going to put regular belt over here. We're going to have yet another mall with... I don't need to get rid of these plates. I might handcraft something with them later. Yeah, we're going to have yet another mall that is also making belt. And then I think we're going to want, yeah, all 3 of these guys, which I don't think we are... can we... Yeah, we've got to be able to do this better, right? If we go underground from here to here, that all still works. I like that a whole lot more, because that it means we will be able to compress this a bit like so. Yeah, I like this more, he said. This will let us compress things, and then did a very poor version of this. Okay. Yeah, iron gets in... Okay, no, this iron goes in here. Cool, good job. Drop the blueprints, it'll make things easier. Yeah, and then we are going to have to deal with an overflow of this copper as well, I think, because we've only got... Oh, no, wait, we were planning on using a full belt of copper here, weren't we? Because we were expecting to be able to utilize all of those green chips in a different way. Okay, so we like that. The plan here is all... I think we're also going to... We're going to make maybe more green chips than we actually need, deliberately. I'm running out of belt. Because if we don't let these green chips... Okay, we're going to do the rest of these assemblers while we're waiting for belt to happen. If we don't let the green chips out of the build, then the only other place that the copper has to go is into the red chips, which is totally the plan. We want a lot of red chips. Yeah, we've got these poles in here, so drag all of this stuff out. Accuracy, speedrunner accuracy. Yeah, I think we are going to push those bases probably pretty soon, but I would also just like to get some of this running first, because if we can get prod mods happening before going and dealing with any of those biters, I will be much happier, because having stuff happen, it's kind of like the wave defense. Can we get the combat running before we go and do any of the, well, other way around? Can we get some kind of basic infrastructure running before we go and do combat, so that we can have all of this stuff running while we do this combat? Yeah, so we've got the third lane of this guy in here. Have I? Oh, I have fully miscounted how much copper we had sitting around, but I think with this is an opportunity to also force the copper in. Other way around. But I don't actually think that matters. But it means we could have extra coils out here, which might matter later, but probably not. Yeah, belt of copper, additional belt of copper. Somewhere coils have to happen, and I guess that's going to happen here. Why are we not? Oh, because we only just got the copper in. Okay, great. And that also means we can now think about where this will start to line up. And I think we've got... okay, we can put those guys back later. So the plastic has to get in here as well. We're going to have to adjust the horizontal position of some of these belts, but I think basically here is where we can start. And we have completed the sulfur research, which is very exciting. Why are you... oh, because you're supposed to go in here. Okay, that's fine. And then... yeah, so we've got to get... oh, we've actually got to get... maybe we do need to move it further up, because we've got to get 2 belts of cables in here, 2 belts of cables in here, plastic in here. Okay. We are actually going to take this opportunity to think about where things are and bounce them to the side a little. And then how far... so like 15 of these red chip assemblers will fully utilize the full belt of coils they can see, but I think we're doing more than that. I think we want to kick off... we want 18 here, because these guys are going to get prod mods, and we want to be able to fully utilize that. But then I think also we're going to sushi modules into the middle of it, because we want to be... yeah, so somewhere in here, maybe these ones. We are... I think actually it's going to be... I think it's going to be these 2 right in the middle, maybe. But the thing is, we've then got to get the red chips back off the belt, which means this belt interface here has to be different as well, which is kind of a thing we're expecting. No big deal. Yeah, we're going to have to come up 1 tile earlier. Okay, that's a thing we can worry about building later. Do we have enough space here for the 4 belts of cables that we will need? I think maybe we will. Yeah, we've got to have... that's actually a gap that I like quite a bit, because it means that we can get 2nd belt of plastic in here. Actually, it's going to be on that location. So why am I doing this with Ghost? Oh, because I don't have... because I do not have. And then part of the goal of this is to be able to throw beacons in here later, but we are so far away from that. Where is the belt that I want? Yeah, this red belt, we're going to need a bit of that as well. We also don't have the... we don't have the gas for this. I don't think we have the plastic for this. No, we do actually have the plastic production for this, don't we? But yeah, the way I want to manage these 3 green chips belts, which ones? So you guys are on the inside, okay? So we can have this prioritize, where? Here? Sure, whatever. Don't worry about it. Prioritize into the red chips build, and then any overflow is going to wander down here and tap this belt. Is that too close to the plastic? I don't think I really mind. And then where are... yeah, it's this one here, isn't it? This line here is the input line. I think we're going to jump this plastic underneath as well, so maybe we get a beacon on this side, but I don't actually think it's going to matter. And then similarly, this... okay, all of this is going to be kind of ugly, but never mind. We're going to prioritize this other belt of green chips into this lower section of the build, which we're going to have to dodge the cable, so we're going to worry about that later. And then, oh, we are going to need red undergrounds, aren't we? Because this is the part of the build that is going to have more than a green belt of chips when we get around to doing that, which is also not yet. And then we've also got to jam more cables through here as well. Maybe this bit isn't getting a beacon because it's a mess, but whatever. Yeah, we're not going to worry about red belt for these other things. It's just the green chips because we've got to share it with the modules. Do I have enough assemblers to get any of this, to get any amount of this running yet? Unclear. I think we worry about that later. And then this guy here is an output belt. Yeah, sure. This is fine. We're going to put more modules on this later. We also can't quite reach, but whatever. Okay, so how are we getting these coils in here? We will need 3, 4. Happens to be the width of space we need. So we have also kind of lucked our way into that as well. Vibes are a thing you can do with your designs, but you should, you know, have actual skills checking that your plan is actually going to work. This is mostly a statement about trying to use AI for tools than it is about Factorio. You don't actually need all that many skills to play Factorio, as indicated by what we're doing here. Anyway, we will want 40 assemblers making copper cable. Yeah, because we've got to process out 2 belts of stuff. So I think we go... I don't think these splitters are going to be achieving much at all, but I think what they will do is, depending on how quickly these miners, of which we've got enough once we have mining productivity, yeah, once those run down, we'll need to manage the rest of this a little differently. But can we even... Yeah, because we put 8 on one side, so we're going to need 10 here. And, yeah, I'm happy with how all fits. That's going to be what we do. The power poles down the other side might be a little more of a problem, and then we're going to need to get... Yeah, you are the middle one? Where... Sure. Let's just do that differently as well. And then you are the middle one. And then we should be able to find some places where we can jam in these power poles. And there's a trick to make... Yeah, if we just... Of the various ways to do this, some of them mean that the last assembler can struggle to get all of its coils onto the belt, whereas that kind of weird half backwards and then forwards layout means that these... Yeah, these... Like, the other option of doing this is if we did something like this. Similar to what we did for the green chips, then this inserter... I think it's this inserter here struggles to fill this belt. Whereas if we do it this way, the other way around, then something about the last assembler having 2 inserters means that things just somehow go better. You know, cool, sure, not really. Somehow. Okay, so that's some of the coils we need, and I think we're just going to bang... We don't need to belt balance any of these coils because they are by construction full belts, but the thing I did want to do was figure out where our power poles are and bring these down so that we can join the power poles on the other side and then run the power through the build, because one of the things we've got to do is get rid of the other power line that's kind of in the way, and this was the number we wanted, right? 20. 17 or 18 for red chips, probably 18, and then 2 for modules in each lane, which we're just going to sushi, sure. And then, yeah, connect that so we've got a slightly different Artosis power cable. Not just an Artosis power pylon, but an entire cable's worth of Artosis. And we are going to need... Are we going to need... Okay, these guys are actually the easiest thing to build at the moment, aren't they? More of this red chip stuff in exactly the position here. Flip that vertically. We are working... Oh, we just got the ability... Did we just unlock the ability to make productivity modules? We did. That's pretty big. That's going to be an important part of everything else that is going on here. That was kind of awkward to do backwards, but whatever. Are we running out of assemblers? Okay. Have we made... We made that super easy to do by hand as well, which is nice. Okay, so I guess we've got to go back to the mall and get the rest of these assemblers. Do we have... You've got belt, but it's not going to matter. Are we at least... Some of these guys are running? If we had... Yeah, we should make sure the middle section here can run, but this is also what we needed the red belt for, wasn't it? But not yet, only after we get the rest of the productivity modules, and then also this guy here being the output belt. Yeah, we're just going to bank a bunch of red chips on a belt for a while. Oh, this was a special case because we needed to get the... Yeah, we need... If these ones are the assemblers for modules, and I guess we're just going to start on modules here, then the output belt, which is the lower one, is going to need a large duration? Nearly, but not quite. We're going to run this as a regular belt all the way through, because we're not going to want beacons here, because... yeah, take red chips as well. Yeah, we are not going to want beacons here. Actually, do I have steel? No, I just have regular assemblers. I can make regular assemblers. That's good enough for these guys at the moment, I think. Why don't... Oh, yeah, because we didn't give you outputs. Yeah, we're going to upgrade those immediately, but if we can start making some modules, that will be nice. Yeah, we're eventually going to quality module these guys, so we don't actually want any beacons in here at all, because we will want to be doing quality things instead. Okay, if we get one more assembler, it's going to feel pretty bad, but yeah, that will let us get... do we need... These guys don't need... These ones don't matter, do they? Because we don't need to be taking the cables or the plastic. Okay, so that's a nice thing to also remember here and here. And we should have... Yeah, we've got red chips building up on the belt. I'm just going to bash prod mods into my handcraft cuers. Not like that, we're not. Get rid of all this plastic. And then give these guys their inserters. Should we... Here and here. Should we just go and build this kind of in... offline, as it were, or should we just have a little wander back to the mall? Because we are at least, you know, we're processing stuff now. That's nice. Give me all of these red chips as well. Yeah, I don't want to be making red chips, but I do want to get rid of these blue chips. Kick all of these into the queue. How many? 10 on one side, 8 on the other side. That's fine. Yeah, because when we prod mod these, we'll actually be getting... I think one of the reasons... Oh, we've got cars. Wait, why do I have one car? Should I not have a backup car? We do have a backup car. Okay, and then we also need to get other refineries when we are over there. Yeah, we are... When we start putting productivity modules in the red chips, which are definitely going to be a thing, we will need more belt space than we kind of have at the moment. We've also got a whole lot of military science that we don't have any particular plans for, which I am fine with. What if we went... Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where I could have more chests, because we've already filled 3 chests with military science that we're not really using. Oh well. Yeah, we will need more inserters. The assemblers we want are down here. Let's just grab all of those. I'm going to craft... Okay, no, I'm not, because it's all kind of in the way. Refineries were the other thing I needed. Yeah, we have automated a fair amount of the stuff in a way that I'm somewhat happy with, and we have automated our red bullets over here, which we're definitely going to use for combat later, because we've kind of committed to it. And then, yeah, this also... Oh, we've got steel sitting down here as well. If I take this steel, then I will be able to handcraft... if I had gears, which I now do, we can also just kick a bunch of these into the handcrafting queue as well, which I think is fine. Sure. Okay, so getting those modules done, we've also got the speed modules now, so we can be remembering that we want to be using a car, and then also wanted red undergrounds. I should have grabbed the rest of the gears we had over there. Yeah, give me the rest of these gears, so I can have another 12 red undergrounds, and then I'm running out of actual undergrounds, which is... I guess also a thing... Yeah, we can handcraft that, can't we? It's going to be fine, because all the way over here, now that we've got all of these assemblers, the inventory is a bit garbage at the moment, but also whatever, that was kind of always going to be the case. We can pull a bunch of belt out of this inventory over here. We still haven't been... That spot that got attacked has also... Yeah, we're going to park the car by hitting it with a rock. That spot that has been attacked has not been further attacked, which is curious. Yeah, we've got a lot of inserters to build. We've got a whole... I mean, we might also... This is the green chips line? Yeah, like so. Okay. What are we doing? Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff to build before we... Because I am thinking about going and pushing those other nests as well, because that whole direction is kind of where the combat that we need to do needs to happen. Wait, do I have... If I have these guys... Are you getting... Oh, we put these inserters in the wrong place. That's why you've never done anything. You guys have this stuff. Do we just go straight into... I think because we're talking about it, I think this is successful activation of the plan. Because we have... I was gonna... Yeah, whatever. Yeah, because we have these prod mods sitting around now, give me all of these things. Upgrade these assemblers. In fact, you just start going. And then you as well, because we're here. Yeah, this is fine. What we can actually do is get these cores out of the inventory. I think one of the reasons why we're going to just start with the modules and the green chips here and the red chips and those kinds of things, and let's get these guys moduled as well, or we ran out. Okay, can we actually just smash this in here? If you guys are going to be undergrounds, not that we need a lot of you right now, but if you just take... Yeah, just like... We're just going to hand feed this belt, and you guys are going to grab stuff, and it's going to be fine. Because this will let us get the build online, and that's mostly what we care about. We've already got the red belt that we need to make this work. Yeah, cool, sure. Oh, wait. We should... realize that we have wandered away from both cars, which is a little bit of an issue, but if we have the refineries, and half of the point here was to have the refineries to get the rest of this working as well, 202,000. So we are, yeah, we're not making that many red chips yet. That'll help. How many? 18? Sure. But we've also got 16 chem plants. They are going to be unhappy, but that's okay, because we've also got that other buffer to work through. These guys want speed modules as well. Yeah, reasons why we're going to start moduling stuff over here. Wait, we needed... Where was the other car? This is the other car. Does it have other stuff in it? It has other stuff in it. Okay. All of that reasonably fine. We needed... Oh, I should have got the other undergrounds, shouldn't I? Not that one. This one here needs to be red. This is reasonably annoying. The UI switches the direction that I am holding belts, but then also autofills the other side in a way that means that I have to reverse the direction for each time I want to place a thing. Oh well, no big deal. Are we about to run out of these as well? We are. This is the car I can pick up. There's a bunch of stuff I can get rid of here. We would need chips and gears if we were going to make more of these assemblers. But instead of that, we are going to drive into that power pole. I'm trying to figure out, what of these things can I build to tidy up my inventory so that we can go over to, the other location and pick up all of the... Really? We failed on all of those? That's unfortunate. So we can go and pick up the other undergrounds we need. Are these? Yes, this is the belt of coils and plastic in the middle, which means that these ones are the inputs because the output ones are below, sure. And the assemblers was a thing that was like, hey, we can just dump all of these out of our inventory. We have not actually made space yet. Okay, we are going to compress these, which we don't actually need, but it's probably good to... I think the power grid mall we've got... Which way? These ones. The power grid mall, we are hand feeding furnaces into the... You guys keep going. We should have... this is a happy looking belt, isn't it? These guys are getting through their work, and then you guys also wanted more stuff. And we've done chemical science. We can go straight into a chemical science build when we need that. Let's get modular armor because we've got everything we need to just go and build this, and it's nice, and it's also a tool belt. And then also let's get modular productivity because we are not really in a position to build anything else that's super useful. Mining productivity. And then I guess explosives because landmines are going to be big. We have... I've actually, if we get modular armor right now, we've got enough stuff just on our person to just immediately go and build, just handcraft ourselves the modular armor that we would like, which also would be a nice thing to get before we try and do any more combat. Okay. This car is not the original car. We made a big deal about getting the other car and getting it back again. But we're going to wander over here and grab all of these undergrounds and then refeed this dude. This is not a long-term solution, but then again, none of these things are long-term solutions. Oh, actually, now that we've got all of these prod mod all the green chips down here. All of these coils are actually going to get... We can go to a 1 prod, 1 speed, which I think is going to get close to making us 3 belts of... I think it's going to get us close to getting 3 belts of copper cables. Oh, turret ran out of ammo. We were kind of keeping an eye on that, but also kind of not really. We should probably just get the rest of this thing built, so we can have it entirely running and be boxing the outputs rather than having them just kind of build up on a lane. Oh well. That's as far as these green chips are going. We are not letting green chips out of the build because we want any of the surplus copper and green chips to just be turned into red chips rather than it being an additional source of green chips. It's going to be one of the ways we make sure that we turn all the resources of this location into red chips and modules rather than yeah, anything else. And this is... Are we going to have... We are going to have... No, it is going to be less than... Yeah, it's going to be less than a full belt at this point, isn't it? We can just pile everything on like this. That's one of the reasons why we put the modules in the middle of it. Is that even when we're doing some productivity work and getting extra red chips in here, we are still... do we... No, I think it's... We would either have to... Yeah, whatever. We're going to presume that's going to be fine. Okay, so red chips on one side. Also prioritize that into... Are we going to be making a full lane of... Because we do have... If we're piling in 2 lanes of plastic and getting productivity bonus, are we making more modules than the productivity bonus is giving us? I kind of hope so. I think that's going to be the plan. And then, yeah, this is set up to make modules forever, or at least until we reorganize this, which I am fine with, because a whole lot of modules is going to be good. And then I think we also just, in the same way, make a whole lot of red chips. Like, do we even double stack this and go to, like, this is a red chips buffer of the size that we would usually be using for something like coal, which is wild. Yeah, and then if we go here and we do the same thing, then we can make sure that one lane is full, and then unpack these guys into the other lane. Okay, so all of that is doing what it needs to, and we just need to get the rest of this built, which is pretty nice, and then we will have a whole pile of modules. Why are you guys not... because this one is actually pretty important there, isn't it? That one really needs to let everything through. Okay. And yeah, there are a lot of other things that need the modules as well. Like the... Oh wait, I was also going to go speeds on a couple of these, wasn't I? That's why we filtered to... That's why we filtered this to be red chips rather than trying to take off prod mods, because we are pretty specifically making sure that we can tolerate other kinds of modules falling through the middle of this thing. All those guys were in the wrong spot. Cool, cool, good. Things that are fine. And these guys actually, they're stuck for outputs at the moment, aren't they? Rather than anything else. Also things that are fine. Can we drag... this section here is where we have the regular belt, because these guys need to be able to grab their outputs, but then this is going underground again, and you want to give me all of these modules, and we're going to module the... I think we module these guys as... Because this is going to, like, my number, the number that I remember for this is 97%. By the time we compare the speed hit and the productivity bonus, we are getting 98%, or 97% out as much as we normally would. And I think that's just going to be... I think that's going to be fine by the time we manage the productivity bonuses of other things we are firing in. I think it works out. Because we're also still presuming the power grid will be fine. I mean, this one is the output belt that's going to go to here. And then I think we also, yeah, we are expecting to fully prod mod all of the red chips, aren't we? And there's some inserters in here we need. This is taken ages, but I think we are happy with it overall. Mostly, maybe? Let's keep these in here for consistency as well. You guys need to be able to get... So you guys are getting the red chips, and it's fine. I have red chips. I have red chips because we're about to handcraft some modular armor. You guys are getting stuff, and all of the outputs are going on the middle belt, which is good. We've got extra green chips getting in through here. these guys need their... Do we have... We do. We even have it on the toolbar with the deletion planner for ghosts, which tells us that there is nothing we haven't built, which is cool. Okay. So let's... Yeah, we're getting stuff out of here. I'm expecting this to nearly be a full belt of stuff. But also we could red beltify that later. And yeah, we're going to use these speed modules on the pump jacks. There's actually still a lot of things that need speed modules here. Yeah, we wanted these guys to all get their speed modules so that we could get more green chips out. But also, if they don't, we're kind of fine with it. These guys have got... Yeah, we just need to get all of these prod mods into... Should we prod mod the plastic as well? Prod modding the plastic is a pretty normal thing to be doing. How is the power grid? Power grid is getting there, isn't it? Okay. Overall, I think we now have... Yeah, we're using a lot of the smelting, and then let's check that all these guys are running, working. I think I see most of these guys working. I think we're pretty fine with that. I think we're filtering off the modules, which is a plan, and we've got a space to throw a ton of those in there. I think we can reorganize this extra power pole through here, and then we need to figure out where and how we're doing blue science. And this actually could be a red belt all the way back, couldn't it? We've got the materials for that at the moment. I think we are dodging the side of the labs, which is nice. And you might wonder whether or not we need sulfur for blue science. That was not the key I wanted. Are we leaving that there for the moment? And the answer to that is yes, we do need sulfur for blue science. And we've got kind of this space down here. We're nearly at modular armor, which is very exciting. We've got this space down here we're going to use for the blue science, for which we have already arranged the engines so that when we put the steel on this belt, we are dodging the things we need to. I think this is going to be the blue science, for which we also need the prod mods, but that's also fine. I'm going to actually handcraft these into speed mods. Actually, where's some... There's no green chips in that mall. Okay. Because what I'm thinking is this might end up being a full belt of red chips. Is there... What are the ratios? It is actually... Okay, so it's 3 belts... 3 parts red chips to 1 part sulfur. So if we have a full belt of red chips here, we still only need half a belt of sulfur here. So I think that's going to be the plan. We are going to need regular inserters now. Is that true? I don't think that's true. I think this is going to want to run like so. But I think we can... Yeah, red science here all the way through like so, and then I think sulfur goes on the inside of this belt. And you might ask, what sulfur? And the answer to that is, we've actually got an entirely separate oil well down here that we're going to use for the sulfur. We've got a power grid down here that's kind of bringing the water up. We're going to make solid fuel there later as well. So maybe we should... first of all, get a modular armor into the queue. Just take off that armor. I'm sure nothing bad will happen. Yeah, we got to... And so, yeah, so if we have a Petrochem thing in here, we're running... if we have a lot of Petrochem here... Yeah, this probably could go in either direction, couldn't it? The sulfur link on this. I was trying to figure out which way... the sulfur is likely to come in, both for the way that would be convenient to get sulfur into the blue science build, but then also convenient to take it out to the labs. And actually the next thing we're going to do is we're going to need more steel here as well for the number of engines we're trying to make. I haven't actually thought about... Yeah, we're going to do... We're going to do that much, because that's how much fits. We're going to need more than that. We're going to think about doing more later. It's going to be fine. Steel here. I need underground belts. Underground belts we're just going to do from our inventory once we get that modular armor crafted. We have got the modular armor crafted. We have upgraded our armor. It is a good day. And yeah, this also links up the power in a way that's going to be nice. We should do the rest of this first, so that we can do all of these guys at once, as is the speedrun plan. And then, yeah, we're just going to punch the entire lane of red chips that we made, which, you know, might not actually be a full lane of red chips, but whatever. We've got that buffer doing work as well. Oh, don't we have another car somewhere? The other car is over here. We've already rescued the first car from the red chip spill. That's good. Okay. Could we? Yep, we could. We can absolutely just go to removing these trees the fast way. Is there anything else in this space we need to worry about? I don't think there is. Is that the line we want to hit? I think we just want to get in here. And all of this science is backed up because mining productivity is a slow research. That's okay. Still worth. What was I trying to... I was going to clear up my inventory by taking the wood that we have down to this chest where we are making the power poles out of it. Do we have enough? We don't really have enough power poles. Okay, I'm going to let that assembler do a bit of work for us. It's probably fine. Oh, we should probably grab the steel from here at the same time. Sure, whatever. Can we fuel these guys more? Yeah, fuel is fine. Okay, things we probably didn't really need to worry about, but we have. Give me this car back. That answers my other question about whether or not all the other pipes and things that were in the other car fit in our inventory, because they just have. And then, which way is this? This coal is going here, which means... oh yeah, we needed these underground belts here-ish, so that this steel could get in and be the engines, and then we are just lacking the sulfur, and we decided that the belt was going in this way? I guess it's going to be the easiest way to get it to these labs. How are we getting it to these... Oh no, I think we do the... Oh no, wait, we can't do the... We can't easily do the split thing like we did here because we've got the sulfur on it as well. But I think that's a thing we worry about later. I think the... Oh wait, this is going to need a belt like so. I think the first thing... I mean, we are in the middle of this, so it does look like we are going to be doing the rest of this blue science build. Or at least the parts that's going to take us... Yeah, the bit of the blue science build that we currently have the parts for, which is these inserters and these inserters. We need to go and extend the steel. We need to go and do the sulfur thing we just talked about. But we are pretty happy at this point. Maybe we should also go and get the modules... Yeah, maybe we should also go and get the modules from the red science build. Maybe we should also have built the module buffer closer to... Yeah, then these ones we're not going to do, but we're going to connect the power. Maybe we should have built the modules buffer closer to the base, but like when we get... Okay, we're running out of stuff here, that's fine. Over here in this power mall... Actually, I did want to come back to the power mall, because this chest wants all of these furnaces so we can turn them into boilers. That's maybe more boilers than we want, not actually sure. Give me some undergrounds, give me the rest of this belt, and I'm going to need refineries and chem plants if we're going to do the sulfur build that we want to. We're also going to need pipes and pumps. And I do not have any pumps. So that is a good reason to have been down here. Actually, these guys on the side over here will have 28 pumps. 28 pumps is a good number of pumps to start with. Okay. Where we are going the wrong way. We wanted to go back to the mall to collect... Yeah, drills we don't need, belts maybe. We wanted more refineries, and then we wanted more chem plants as well. And then we wanted to give... Where is the... Here is the steel box that puts things into assemblers, which we also need. Fast, long-handed. I think we are good for most of those things. How many gun turrets do we have? We've got gun turrets, we've got bullets, we can respond to most things if we need to, it's probably fine. How is this little bunker doing with its ammunition? Oh, it's one of the middle ones that's run out. We've still got ammunition sitting around, so that's fine. Okay, let's also just swing back to the red chip space that we built. These gun turrets are now not getting much done, and hopefully we can leave that area free of stuff so we can drive through it like that later. And we want all of the modules at this point. Give me all the modules. Give me the modules. Yeah, that is a big chunk of modules that we like. We are going to... I think there's only a couple of things we want speed modules for. All these pump jacks are one of the things we want speed modules for. Grid is... we're going to be able to get the blue science online, but the rest of it is going to be interesting. Yeah. We want these speed modules through here. Yeah, the coils are a thing that wants speed modules as well, because this is going to do a better job of, yeah, 3.58 coils versus 4.04. So we're going to do a better job of utilizing that green chip manufacturer. I think we maybe still have too many, but whatever. And then these, yeah, those guys wanted just the prod mods because we are less concerned about... Like, the coils going into the green chips are to make sure that the green chips are well utilized as an assembler. Oh wait, they didn't all get their speed modules, that's why we were looking at these guys. Whereas these ones are just about preserving copper, because we don't actually need... Like, the other ratio that those assemblers are looking at as to how they are leveraged is these red chip assemblers through the middle, which are not even the most important thing to module, but whatever. I think at this point we have... Yeah, I think we have all of the speed modules we want for now. And then I've also picked up coils of plastic from somewhere. Okay, all of that is pretty good. This I wanted to clip off just to tidy it up. Okay, let's get the... Yeah, we were doing the blue science thing, we were doing the sulfur thing. There are other pump jacks that we also want to prod mod. Do we want to... We were thinking about prod modding the plastic as well, weren't we? We probably do need to do that. Do we want to do that right now? Probably, because it means we don't have to come back here later. Okay, so all those guys have got all their speed modules. The refineries, I think we are going to do an efficiency module thing. Yeah, wander in here. Slap these guys with all of their modules. This is now less than... This is less than 2 watts of plastic now, isn't it? I think what that means is the ones that are less likely to be used can get a little boost. Yep. So we are well utilizing all of the resources we are collecting there, which we like. Yeah, I think we are going to do an efficiency module thing as well. The pollution and map settings, yeah, the pollution and evolution settings are such that it is still a thing that is kind of worth us thinking about, when it kind of isn't in... It kind of isn't in a... these ones? It kind of isn't in a 100 times multiplier, because you're just making so much more pollution than you can actually manage that it's just straight up not worth worrying about pollution from evolution. It's just like you just assume that you're going to be absolutely swamped with it, whereas we are in a situation where... Oh, and military science, I guess, is the other thing that wants it. Oh, and the blue science that we were actually building that we have not done the sulfur for yet. Never mind, we can come back to that later. Yeah, the military science that we're just putting in boxes that we are not using at all. Never mind. Oh, wait. Other things we should do include, we've got 8 of these guys left. Yeah, that's not enough for that blue science, is it? But it might be enough to do... Happens to be exactly the right number to do the gears into engines. Okay, cool. So all of that power grid is getting worse, and we're actually not near... Yeah, we are not at all near this situation of getting... How are we... Oh, hit myself with the car, cool. Yeah, we are not really at all near the situation of being able to boost that power grid with bots. So maybe we do actually need to do that ourselves. Okay, I have no idea how long that fluid network is, but now we don't have to worry about it. We've got a pipe. Are we putting anything else through here? I think we are, but I think we're going to worry about that with respect to this pipe later. Yeah, we're just going to bring this pipe of water up here. It's going to be fine. This is for sulfur. And then also for advanced tracking later. We still have speed modules, so these pump jacks can enjoy that as well. Sulfur is also going to need... Can we just find something that's a bit fast to just blast all the signs out of the labs? Although on Marathon that's also going to be, you know, not super great. Oh, actually, wait. We've got a pattern here that we can copy to make all of this easier. And then we want to keep out the way of where we're expanding the labs later. Whatever. We're just going to dump this here. Does that line up on... this lines up on the... I think we're going to be... Yep, that's fine. We're just going to... I was wondering about doing... Oh, no, wait. We have to do the middle pipe first, don't we? I was wondering about pushing this 2 tiles even further back. Is that water kind of in the way? I don't know how many refineries we need for the amount of sulfur we are making. We can get another refinery in here just fine. And then... This actually lines up perfectly, because now if we wanted to, we can extend other... Yeah, we can extend other refineries on the other side. That worked out unreasonably well, and we will take it. And yeah, giant messes shall be made. This entire Petrochem build we are just going to use for sulfur for blue science, but then also for... that was weird, but seemed to work. Yeah, we're going to do... I think I like the idea of having another little Petrochem build just kind of in the middle of the base like this, because it means the lubricant is going to be super easy when we get around to doing bot things. And then also, the light oil we get from this position later, this is... Yeah, this one is going to need to move back, having just talked about the light oil thing. Yeah, whatever. I think the light oil later we can fire into a couple of power grids, which is going to be nice, and we're going to end up with this kind of weird dependency on... Is that... That also happens to be exactly the correct number of refineries that we had in our inventory. So we're going to have 12 refineries making sulfur and stuff. It's going to be fine. We're going to kick this out a little further, because I don't know if we're going to want to need more. Actually, we will want more, won't we? Because we'll also want sulfur for landmines. And then this is going to be here, and then also going underground to here. Sure. Okay. And then this same pattern of weird undergrounds is not going to be fantastic to build, but will mean that we can extend refineries later if we need to. And we are Really? I thought we had... Why does that not work? Is it because it's one of these was connected to a building? So that trick only works if you have unconnected pipe things, dragging undergrounds past them will just blast the pipes, whereas if you have a building connected to the intermediate pipe, it won't. That is not what I was expecting. That is super weird. Okay, I think I have tanks. We're just going to, yeah, also jump this past where any kind of light oil stuff would be, and then slap in a bunch more tanks here because we can. That'll get you guys running. And then down here we've got a place where we can do I have both cars. Good. We've got water, we've got some amount of petrochem, which is fine, and we'll just kind of fill up. And then, yeah, how many of these guys will I need to get half a belt of sulfur out? If you guys are making 2, then I think we go directly to... yeah, this is kind of out of the way. I think we just go directly to a whole belt of sulfur. I think we go like this. We expect to get... Can we just drag past this and get all these pipes in the right direction? Yes. Okay. I think we proceed to imagine what it would be like to have enough sulfur to not necessarily make acid. Maybe this sulfur is also making acid, in which case we want even more. If we're doing, yeah, I think if we're doing an acid amount of sulfur for batteries and things, we're going to want about this volume of it. Yep, cool, great. And then we happen to have lined up these things in a somewhat acceptable manner. Except okay, these guys are, yeah, these are not lined up in an acceptable manner. We want to get the water in like so. And then the gas, we should have also put a tank here or something, but also whatever. One of the other things that I did want, which I guess is a thing we can add now, is to deartosify, which is a new word I've just invented, and this whole power connection over here. So I guess we also want to run from the sulfur to the coal. These guys are all, yeah, these guys are all running, which is great. And then I think we can just go fast inserters like so. And that's going to give us a whole belt of sulfur, which we can sideload later, or we can figure out how to get some coal nearby and do explosive things, which we are also working on immediately. We have deartosified the power grid, which we like, and we've got a belt of sulfur, which needs to end up further over here. And I do kind of, at this point I'm deciding that I would rather take it in a little bit to first of all not have to hit so many of these trees, but also I don't know what we're doing with that stone, but we're probably doing something with the stone. This is fine. Did we want all of this running significantly earlier? Yes. Are we still somewhat happy that we have episode progress? Yeah, this can go here, and then we can get another... We can get another 4 in. If all of... And it does look like all these guys are set up properly. I don't know how many this is, but I also don't know how many we need. But we also have... this is going to go like so. Inputs here. Yeah, we are going to need a whole lot of blue science. And there's also things other than blue science that we... Oh, jeez. Build consistently, please. There's a whole lot of things other than blue science that we are still going to need. The batteries, the concrete. Did we get solar power? I don't think we've got solar power yet. But this is going to get us some number of blue science, which I probably should count. Not those ones, these ones are inputs. is that, okay, so we've got a surplus of sulfur on this belt, which is totally the plan. We've got no prod mods, but we would like some. We've got to connect the rest of these belts, build the rest of these assemblers. That was all stuff we knew we were going to have to do. Yeah, I think we definitely want a blue science buffer, because we are still... okay. That was not the right way to do those mechanics. Cool. And then set the recipes rather than unsetting recipes. What's even... Yeah, I think once this is built, this will look less like a mess. Okay. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff other than blue science that we also still want to be researching, such as the mining productivity that we are still in the middle of. But I think the advanced oil processing is going to be the first way that we get enough gas at the red chips to build the amount of plastic we want to do. I think we're also going to do a little defensive thing just here that says anything that is not red chips, just put it in this box. I think we're going to get... I mean, we've got everything we need for roboports when we get around to that, but I think at this point we need to also visit the modules again. Also count how many of these guys we have, and that number is 54, which is a decent chunk, but it's not actually enough, is it? Because we have 84 green science, and the numbers are such that green science are 1 per 6 seconds, and blue science are 2 per 24 seconds, so 1 per 12 seconds. So we need twice as many assemblers on blue science as green science. So we actually need to go up to 160. So we need to triple the size. Oh, we're double counting the engines as well. We need to increase the size of this blue circuits build significantly. Okay, here prioritize that into whatever this thing is, and then also in a way similar to military science, but larger than military science? Question mark? I guess this buffer is going to moderate fast and slow ticks, isn't it? And also we might end up close to a full... yeah, whatever. Okay, so that's the first part of what we're doing. Walls being damaged, I kind of don't care about. We are going to be polluting a whole lot of stuff. It's fine. It's not getting into the labs yet. We're going to need to get these guys out of the way. And building into this forest doesn't feel good. I would rather not be doing that. Okay. Copy this much of this thing, which also gets the settings on that inserter towards the end. And then how many more of these guys? We can do that, but then drop off the concluding section. We can throw in this many more, which is another 12, which brings us up to about 60 something. Without really worrying about it, we are definitely going to need more, but I think we just don't worry about that yet. I think there's enough other things that we also need to do that, like we could put more blue science down here because it's all on the inside of that. I like that quite a bit. What else are we doing with the space? Probably nothing. Okay. Sucks to be these trees. Because this is a point where... okay. I'm apparently blasting these trees as well. So I'm talking myself into wanting another 4 of these guys here. Another 4 of these guys here. And then how much of this? The same on the other side... here? I think that's what we're doing. And that would take us up to Can we get the entire build on the screen at once? Maybe. Okay, the new ones are 32, and then the existing ones 54, so that takes us up to 80, so that's still only half the size of what we need, which is a little bit wild, and we also aren't going to have the steel for this, and I don't think we're going to have through here the pipes either, but that's why this splitter is prioritizing into the build down here, so we've got all the rest of the space to build more of this stuff and throw more gears and pipes on this belt. This thing is not going to want to go there, it's going to want to go over here. Like so. And then we're just building the more stuff. Should we... And then we also kind of need to get this into labs, don't we? There's building the rest of the blue science, which is going to be super important. Get this in here like so. Get these inputs. We're going to need 3 belts of stuff, or we could go underground, but we're not going to go underground, we're just going to roll over here. I also don't know how this compares to whether or not all of this blue science is going to fit in half a belt. I suspect it actually might not. Oh wait, we can check that in a way by going, how many green science have we consumed? Peak green science is 600 a minute. Okay, so this green science build is 600 a minute. We have said that we are making less than that with the amount of, the amount of blue science is less than that, but more so maybe we're making 300. I don't have enough red inserters. Maybe we have 300 blue science per minute, which is also fine because 450 is what fits on. Oh yeah, that's right, we were getting these belts in here so we could go around the other side. Is what fits on half a belt. So I am talking myself into being happy that the amount of blue science we are currently building is going to fit on the half belt with which we have got the input and output buffers, so that's all fine. We're going to need more steel. The red chips are probably fine, but we're also moduling it at the same time. Do I have, because I've run out of long-handed inserters, but if we can get, we've also run out of assemblers. We are close to running out of belt, but we are not running out of belt, which is very exciting. And then the other thing we are going to need is the rest of the modules. And then we're going to have to figure out how to get this into labs, which is also going to be fun. You are going to move so that I can drive through here more easily. That's fine. These guys are still filling tanks with gas by the looks of things. That's pretty good. Do I have any iron? You guys have... Okay, we did that kind of badly. That's not even the main grenades build, that's just like an extra grenades build off the side. This is... What are we hitting? Are we hitting... Yeah, we're hitting that guy. I have not actually thought about whether or not we are mining enough coal to be doing all the power grid things we want to. I was mostly thinking about the power grid in terms of power grid we have built rather than let's visit the other, let's go down to the other mall for inserters and belt. I was mostly thinking about power grid that I have built rather than whether or not we have enough coal to keep up with everything we're about to module, because at the point we have blue science, we want to be moduling the labs as well as the blue science. Oh wait, there's also other good reasons to visit this lab. We actually want all of these assemblers to be moduled as well. Give me the belt. Coils for gears, or coils for green chips we are going to give... I think I just need all of these? Sure. Yeah, coils for green chips we're going to go 1 speed, one, productivity, so we get a bit more copper out, but we also get the stuff out. I also need, oh, the sulfur wants prod mods as well, doesn't it? These guys want prod mods. There's a bunch of, oh wait, do we need to do maintenance on these 2 boxes of coal? Because they will fill up and everything will block, and we will be unhappy about that. Okay. And give me a little bit of coal because I'm still driving around with a car and stuff. I think that's most of the gears that have been prod modded, which is cool. And then we want sulfur prod modded because it uses quite a lot of gas. Sulfur actually uses, like, per item, sulfur uses more gas than plastic does. It's just that a base will go through vastly more plastic than anything else. What if we... So mining prod, we're still doing a slow mining prod. You take 30 seconds, you take 30 seconds. Is there another 15-second one that we can crank out just quickly? And then also efficiency modules we did say we wanted, so maybe we're going to do that as well. And we're making the blue science, that's all fine. I was back here for more of these assemblers. Yeah, cool, great. Do we want to... There are gears in the middle of this mall, but we've also already moduled them, so that's fine. We're going to be able to get this blue science online and moduled, he said, remembering the modules, but we are going to need to build more power grid as we are working towards bots, because we also don't have batteries yet. We can do all of this from the car, which is pretty nice. Did the rest of this mall, everything that can be prod modded in that mall got prod modded? Great, good times. Okay, now we can just continue with a build, which we should then figure out how to get into the labs, but we can do that after all of this stuff is running, and then we're going to have to worry about getting enough iron in. I think there are several problems with the iron supply to this at the moment, and we have forgotten the speedrun mechanics of doing all those guys at once. Whatever. Cool, sure. These guys just need their power. We're going to need power over here as well. And do we have... I don't know that we have radar coverage over here, and I think we probably want it. Something there was weird, and I don't know what. Do I have... I don't have... You can... Yeah, I don't really want sulfur or red chips in my inventory at the moment. Why are we not... Oh yeah, because these guys aren't running. So why are you guys not running? Because you don't have engines. Why are we not... Oh, because pipes. That is going to be the iron problem that we were talking about. We currently... Okay, I've got pipes. You guys can have pipes. Have all the pipes? Have all the pipes. Yeah, we are going to have iron problems going into the engines for the blue science. I don't think we're mining enough iron. I'm pretty sure we are not making enough either gears or pipes to keep all of these guys happy, but also whatever, because this is all running now. Other than the aforementioned fact about not having enough stuff, but I think in here, this is doing mall stuff. We're still having walls taking hits. That's fine. This is kind of a mall bit of pipe. Oh, have we actually run out of bullets now? Yeah, we'll go there soon. It's going to be fine. Yeah, first of all, I don't think this is necessarily a good call, because we're just going to be taking more pipe off the belt until those guys get running. But we've got... This actually is also iron that we need for the base, isn't it? Yeah, it is. We need it for grenades in the main base. We need it for the other bits of military science. It goes into the mall, so we do have to have an iron surplus here. But I think the thing we would like to do... Also, if we're trying to build flamethrowers anyway, yeah, we are going to need... Where can we just go... Can we just go pipes, pipes, pipes? can we fit the inserters in here? I think that's a yes. So I think we're just going to make a mess here. And then poke this underground. And we're definitely going to need more, but that is going to solve a small portion of the problem immediately. Where are we getting more from? We can have... Because we also don't have more iron mining here. We need to go back to this patch, but we also will need more steel, because we've currently only got 2 lanes of iron going into the steel, and probably this is just debuffering. Oh no, wait, it's also waiting on the pipes, isn't it? Yeah, so we're going to have to do all of that as well. No big deal. But the thing I am talking myself into is I think we can get another half lane of... I don't have the right inserters for this. And then we should also power it. We're not even going to worry about that yet. Yeah, I think we can get ourselves another lane of iron in here. Like another half lane of iron there. It's going to be fine. Maybe we actually do need to deal with that. So I think that's going to be how we try and get more stuff in here. Is going to be part of the plan. Should we even be researching circuit network now? I'm not sure that I hugely value it. Because we could already do circuits, we just can't manufacture the red or green wire that we actually don't need for anything now. Is this a way to get... This is kind of a way to get down here, isn't it? I think one of the interesting things about the beta settings we have is that... Look at this, this is fine, although we are, yeah, short on... Oh, we're actually struggling with power grid now because we went through... Yeah, we're just not actually mining enough coal. Okay. Things that we are fine with. Let's just double wall this section of it. Do we give it more guns as well? I've not really been paying attention to how close splitters are. But we can move these guys around so we can have a little... Okay, this guy is also going to move. Because then we can have wall between all of these turrets. Which is nice to do with mechanics, and then also makes it robust versus... spitters later, which is a thing that maybe we think about, maybe we don't, whatever. It's probably going to be fine. Oh, we're definitely going to be up against spitters at some point. Okay, so that all got better. Yeah, we could just go and put some steam engines on some of these power grids that we're not fully using it, couldn't we? Or maybe the steam engines that are in my inventory could just straight up go on some of the places where they're easy to make work. It's not enough. This is not fantastic because we were also planning on moduling the labs once we get the blue science in there. Although, how fast are you? I think this is... I think we actually want to, yeah, we want to be doing the oil processing, because then once we're doing the oil processing, the oil that is currently doing the sulfur, I don't have any repair packs and I cannot make any repair packs, that's fine. Yeah, the oil that we are currently using for sulfur, oh, here's a way I can get repair packs. I don't think we have these in the mall anywhere. Sure, just make all those gears as well, so no big deal. Not there, here. Yeah, if we get the advanced oil processing out, then we will be able to turn these refineries into something that is also making solid fuel, which we can use to boost this power grid as well. But we actually still need... Yeah. What was the other... There was something else I was going to build in the mall. It wasn't red science. Was it moduling the labs? Give me these. How many we got? Another 40? That's fine. We can drop these guys somewhere. Oh no, it was connecting the blue science to the labs, wasn't it? That is a thing that still does not exist, so let's figure out how to tap that through, and I think we're just going to go underground here. Here's a belt, which is mildly off-center, but never mind. This should get... We should be doing military and blue science at the same time. Yes, that would make sense, because we have to get both of these through more or less the same set of constraints. Like, we have figured out how to get the blue science into only half of our labs. This lab setup is still a thing that is a bit weird. We're trying to do so much science that we've got science in several places. Yeah, we've got labs in several places, which is going to be a bit weird to deal with. But we do now have both military science and blue science. Yeah, it's keep working on something. Heading at least into one of the labs, and there is a nasty, cheeky thing we can do, which I think I might do, which is we're just going to pick up a bunch of science. Pick up a bunch of military science, pick up a bunch of blue science, worry about the consequences of that later. We've not actually done all the belt there, though, have we? Because this belt here is what we need to try and get other kinds of science onto. But the first way we're going to do that is just by poking it in. Military science, blue science, all this science. Maybe we should have extended the power grid first. We haven't. Especially if we want to try and module all these things, which we would like to try and module all these things. And it's, I mean, permanent yellow power is probably affecting our ability to mine the coal that is supposed to solve the power grid problems that we are having. So that's going to be mildly awkward. But don't worry about it, I guess. Okay, blue science and military science for some kind of definition reaching both of our labs. Let's get the rest of these. Yeah, how much do we still have? It does look like we have spare coal coming off that patch, and we are, now that we're not talking about making plastic here, I don't think we're going to need that coal for anything other than explosives. So I think we've still only got one belt of coal going through here, but maybe this is just going to run down a buffer of coal that's sitting on a belt, but it's going to make things better, right? It's not making many things better. I guess I'm happy that we have expanded everything enough. Okay, that one, we're not going to bother putting the pipe in the right place, so yeah, I think we can tell ourselves that we are happy to have made everything better enough that the grid we are using is now, like, the amount of stuff we put on the grid is, you know, the factory is growing. Having decided that we're not using this for plastic, how many is this? 83? That is indeed 3 belts of stuff. So we can have one belt going into the power grid, supported by light oil or something. We can have another whole block of maybe this much of this thing. Slap it in here. That looks good. And this means that with the same offshore pump setup, because we already have... Oh, we're running out of belt. That was not necessarily something I expected. I don't think we don't have boilers. Yeah, we're going to have to come back with more boilers, come back with more steam engines. 16 power poles? Sure. Yeah, I think we can take this underground from here, this underground as well. The coal belt that we were going to use for plastic and or explosives, this one is not going to do that. It's going to wander into this piece of the build. And then we've got this other belt. Yeah, we wanted the splitter there. Oh, wait. We actually don't have... We don't have the belt we want to be able to make the rest of this stuff. Yeah, so this is going to be yet another power grid, which we are going to enjoy, because we also want to be able to get... Do I have gears? I don't have gears. I can't actually... Yeah, we're just going to go and get... we need to go back to the power mall anyway to get the rest of the boilers and stuff. Yeah, we're going to have yet another little bit of power grid to build. I think we're still going to be able to build explosives off that coal, but the oh, I also don't have pipes. Okay, so that is what we need to go back to the power mall to build. Slide through here. We didn't actually build a way to get through that red science, did we? This is walls, that's walls, we're not going to care about that. All of this stuff is just running. Yeah, put the car over there because we actually want all of this blue science to be moduled, and I think that's all of the blue science moduled. Oh, if we are not making... If we were thinking about making half a belt of blue science, doesn't that mean we need close to a full belt of red chips? I'm trying to figure out... Oh, this is not where the power mall is. That is the iron that we need to extend for the power mall, which we've also not done yet. The power mall is down here. Grab me... Yeah, grab me, give me some pipes. Give me... I've got the underground pipes. Give me all of these guys. Give me... Another 80 is going to be fine. Give me all of these as well. I'm going to need more power poles. And I think that's also going to be an opportunity to swing back and get yet more steam engines, because I don't think we've automated those steam engines anywhere else except the power mall. Yeah, give me... Have any wood that I have. Give me another 100 of these guys. Yeah, get this guy. Do your advanced oil processing thing. We only need to push through 4,500 blue science. Oh well. Are we actually making... No, we're not making more than half a belt of blue science. It's just sometimes there's a... Yeah. There's patches like this, probably because of how we onlined the assemblers, where the belts get full, but the assemblers aren't actually going to stop. They're just going to have one or two in their internal buffer before they get around to putting all of it on the belt, which is totally fine. Mining drills. We are actually going to go and defend that position. Yeah, we don't really have any defenses in the north yet, and maybe we should. We're still trying to be kind of cheeky about how little defense we can get away with, and there's a very strong possibility that if we take any expansions, because of the way we have set up the pollution and the biter settings, biters expanding into our cloud could hurt a whole lot, like more than it usually does on default settings, which is already pretty bad. I'm going to need more gun turrets. Did we actually automate... wait, did we also... We've got 4 guys making pipes here. We then have more or less than 40, more than 40, so we don't actually have enough pipes there to be able to keep all of those engines happy. We're going to need... and the pipes are on a curious side of the belt that means we can just do a nasty thing here like so. Have an assembler here. That's actually not quite going to work, is it? We're gonna do nasty things. We're probably not surprising, but we will need a little hole here and a larger hole here to be able to go... this wants to move down. Pipes here. Take iron here, put pipes on the belt, and this way... Okay, so pipes happen to be full. I think this is maybe going to be an artifact of not enough gears. Oh no, it's an artifact of not enough iron. Cool, great, okay. I was wondering whether or not we have gun turrets automated anywhere, because I want more bullets. I have 11 gun turrets. I am not seeing gun turrets automated anywhere. Can we get... just like here? Am I using that space for anything? Am I using that space for driving through? How are we going to worry about it? I don't think we worry about it. I think we just grab some of this stuff, grab some of these gears, kick a couple of gun turrets into the queue, and don't worry about it. Handcrafting is a resource that we can lean on. It's going to be fine. we had to go and build the rest of a power grid because, yeah, where is the other car? The other car's up here. I didn't think we had added enough engines to make all of that happy. I think we... yeah, my vibes were we'd added a couple of engines and then something about not having enough red chips or not having enough blue chips or one of those kinds of things meant that everything looked happy when it was not really. Okay, water through the top side of this build. Maybe we continue that as well. And then this... I hope this solves our power grid problem. Mainly because I don't feel like solving it again. This needs to connect to these guys over here. Continue the deartosification by having other ways to get this stuff in, and then if we have the burner inserters, and we should, then we are still, as it turns out, way at the top of our power grid usage, so that's super cool, enjoying that a lot. Are we... because the follow-up question is whether or not we are going to be using enough sulfur when... because if we're using the Petrochem directly above us at the moment for both... for sulfur, for explosives, and for batteries, and for blue science in the manner that we are... okay, we now seem to have enough headroom in the grid with more grids built later. We might need to be creative with how these... yeah, with how we put the rubber bolts around this. Might have to delete some of them or whatever. Okay, working towards... I've got maybe enough pipes for this, yeah. because if we are doing this thing where we are going to set up this Petrochem for advanced oil processing in the way that we are doing, and then turning all of the heavy oil into light oil for power grid, and all of the gas into... have we done that the way around? This feels bad. Oh no, this is what this one is missing, that's why that feels bad. All of the gas into acid, then we kind of need to make sure that we are using more acid than we really need to, because the power grid... yeah, because if we aren't using enough acid, then the light oil that this thing is doing will slow down, and we will run ourselves out of power grid in kind of a nasty situation. But I think we just worry about that later. I think we build all of this for now and don't worry about it. I think it's going to be fine. Did we get efficiency modules as well? I'm not sure if we did. Okay, all of those guys have water. We are somewhat near the mall. From the mall we want, I guess, a whole bunch of tanks. We want a whole bunch of chem plants. We're still getting more chem plants. We want a couple more refineries. Do we want pipes? We can have pipes here and also here, and this was never a belt for engines because we built engines in a completely different place, but it's okay, don't worry about it. And then we should just be able to turn these guys into advanced oil processing. Yeah, we're going to presume those guys are fine. They might actually not be fine. I've also just spotted these guys. Those guys we are going to go and worry about. Okay, nearly. We're going to put the tanks here first so that everything can continue to run. And then worry about that attack, which is the power grid we said we needed. Yeah, we don't need that many tanks, do we? Whatever. Okay. We have made them all gun turrets, which is fine. We are going to need to go back to the power mall to pick up more power stuff anyway. These guys have been pretty cunning, and it looks like they've got right into the middle of the build. Good job them. But they have failed to destroy the offshore pump, which is a bit of a misplay on their part. Destroying the offshore pump would definitely have worked out better for them. And we have rebuilt. It's fine. How many? They didn't have all that many dudes, did they? But this is also a point where they could be attacking us almost anywhere. Yeah, grab some of these back. Give these guys walls as well. Sure. Give these walls in between. Yeah. I think that's one of the things we're going to do working towards spitters, as we probably are, is that we are going to start putting walls inside between the internal gun turrets, because we are going to want to make sure that we slow the biters down a bit as they go between, what was mixed and sushi. Yeah, that was the plan here. That's why this whole mining patch looks weird. Iron and coal, I don't know, I think that was probably what we wanted to do. Yeah, this looked like it was quite a big attack, and I actually don't know where they would be attacking from and why they didn't attack these patches, but we do now have a number of bases that we are polluting that we are currently not defending. Maybe, does that need to be the next thing? If the grid is fine, you guys are getting prod mods. We've got explosives, we can get landmines as the next tech. Pretty straightforward. This might do bad things to the grid. Maybe it's not doing bad things to the grid only because we don't actually have everything running yet, but that's going to be the plan anyway. Okay, I think we've got to continue to struggle with... Wait, shouldn't we be in a position over here where we can find more bullets? Yeah, give me more bullets. I do like having enough bullets. Though I want more... I kind of want more gun turrets, don't I? Especially if we're going to be improvising some of this garbage defense around the place. Yeah, give me a bunch of these things. Make another 12 gun turrets. Do you guys have... Does anyone here have iron that they don't need? No. We are just using all of the iron, which I think is the better way around to be doing stuff. Yeah, another 11 gun turrets. That's cool. Okay. Oh yeah, this coal we were going to use for something else as well, weren't we? I think we want to get... We want to get some kind of solid fuel. We're still waiting on gas because we're not fully utilizing the sulfur yet, which I think is not entirely unexpected. And then these guys are going to go solid fuel from light oil. Hopefully that's a thing we can ignore. Yep, we're totally going to ignore that. Yeah, if we can get some of this into the power grid as well, we're going to need cracking. We are also, as it looks like, going to need some kind of... And I guess this is going to happen down here. We are going to need... Yeah, let's run it all the way over here. Yeah, let's have a... Let's go... 6 of these dudes here that are going to work on solid fuel from gas, which is not a good recipe, but it is a recipe that will let us vent gas from the system in a helpful way that will let us continue to also build... Yeah, that will let the power grid continue to work, and then the circuit network that we don't need, that we didn't need the research to do this for anyway, we're just going to tie this to a tank and say if you guys have more than 16, 20, 22,000. 22,000 gas is what we're going to work down to. You guys all... take that limit, you all got that limit, and so now we have a way of... We're going to need the cracking as well, that's a thing we can do later. This, oh yeah, we didn't actually support... let's have it here. Yeah, we put turrets there and didn't really support them there, did we? Oh well, sucks to be them. I think that happens to be in exactly the right spot. Let's have... And currently the... currently the solid fuel from light oil and gas are kind of in different places, on different sides of the belt, but when they make their way into this thing, some of these boilers will prefer the the gas source, and some of them will prefer the light oil source. If we have a surplus of both of those, which is, I'm happy with overall how that is working. Oh, we haven't done all the pipes we need to for this. Cool, sure. DR toastification continues. And then we're also just going to, yeah. Okay, do we do cracking now? I don't think we need to do cracking now, do we? I think what we actually need to do now, all of this is running, is Blue Science. Yeah, we are just not using that much sulfur. Okay, we could also do an explosives into landmines thing. I think, yeah, I think that's going to be worth... Where is... If we went here and we went... push you out this way, then we've got... Like, I'm not planning on building this now, but working on the belt delay might be nice. Here is a belt of coal we can use for explosives. Over here is where the rest of the explosives are going to be. Maybe we should finish off the rest of these pipes so that we can actually have these refineries produce something. Might be a good idea. And then I think we want to get... Did we get efficiency modules? We haven't got efficiency modules yet. Efficiency modules are after the mining productivity. If we can get efficiency modules and mining productivity, one of which is very close and therefore nice, yeah, then we will be able to pivot the red science build over to efficiency modules, get a bunch of efficiency modules and mining drills, and that's going to be pretty big. And I think I'm just... can we squeeze through here? Yeah, that one's taken a bunch of damage. We haven't done anything about it. Oh well, never mind. This guy is probably all just cool. Drive straight into the pylon that you can't see because it's dark. These guys are just punching everything out, right? Yeah, here's a ton of prod mods. That all looks real nice. We're enjoying that a lot. Did we prod mod the sulfur? Do we need to go back to... We did prod mod the sulfur, so it's now basically just the labs. I think we needed a couple more modules over here in these labs. And then I think we go efficiency modules and then towards bots, I think is what we got to do. And we've got to redo that plumbing as well, never mind, because... Actually, yeah, let's repair the cars. That's why we built these repair packs. Yeah. I think we're going to have to do a little bit of defensive work, because... Where are the labs? Over here. Getting the blue science online before doing any more defensive work is real nice. I still do not want to bother putting walls anywhere before we get bots up. I don't think that's going to be fun for me to spend my time doing that. Is that all of... Yep, okay, so there's all those guys. Efficiency modules will let us pivot the blue science build, and then... Because the other thing I'm aware of is... We talked about not making blue science at the same rate as the other sciences as red and green. And also we do have this buffer, which has a decent chunk in it. And we could also walk those sciences over to this buffer. I would rather not. Oh, what are you blocked on? Oh, you're blocked on this iron not being used. That is fine. Yes, so if we... I wanted gun turrets and I wanted bullets, and at this point we've got... I think all the blue sciences got moduled, which is good. The military science is moduled. The green chips, yes. I think we've got moduled everything we wanted to be moduled, which is pretty enjoyable. We're going to have another box just in here into which I'm going to throw things I would rather not really lose as we go and do a bunch of combat stuff. And then where is the there should be a box down here somewhere of old stuff. And we never actually put a pistols of... Yeah, let's have a little... Where shall we do this? Pump jacks. We were wondering if we were going to have to defend that area. This little area here is going to be a space where we put pistols of shame if we ever die. Usually, I mean, that's not a thing I've done a whole lot. Maybe we put some tiles underneath it as well. Okay, give me all of these red bullets. Do I still have pump jacks? I also have given away all the speed modules that we would be using to put those back as well. Oh, and we never did the extra iron from the north patch. That's also a thing we got to do. They are in fact attacking the red chips build and they've actually done a pretty good job. Nice work. I was wondering whether or not they were attacking the Oh, I am disconnected to Powerball somewhere. I was wondering whether they were attacking the red chips that were actually close to the refineries instead. But yeah, this is risks we knew we were taking that we were hopefully just getting away with, and I think we have because the blue science is online. But I think we've got to go and do a bunch of combat now. Get this stuff in here, get this stuff in... Oh wait, these modules do not. We've actually been making too many modules, never mind. These guys... The bottom one is in, and then why are you guys all stuck? Oh, because you needed that. Okay. Wall is fine. We are less concerned about losing bits of wall. Things are good. And yes, straight belt through all of this because you guys want to remind us that we do not want to be making speed modules here. We don't want to be speed beaconing this stuff because we want to be putting quality modules in the module assemblers when we get to that point, of which we are not yet. Okay. Did that fix everything? We didn't lose any of the red belt. We need to remodule these prod mods, but we've got those modules here. And then I think in the last thing we do today, in typical Factorio fashion of, oh hey, there's some extra things we want to do. Oh, they broke that bit of belt. Oh wait, we need to put the pump jacks back as well, don't we? And then some of this stuff is not powered. Okay, we have... what even went on here? How had we laid this out? So the refineries never stopped working. The refineries were also not powered. We also would like, at this point, efficiency modules, because I think the map settings we've got, these decisions are kind of worth it, and we can start punching out a whole bunch of efficiency modules which we can put in our mining drills to encourage biters to not be angry at us. We don't have these speed modules anymore. I don't know if we need them. It's probably fine. And then we need the underground pipes. We have more or less rebuilt all of this. Yeah, I was aware when we were trying to set up the blue science in a kind of spicy way that we might be taking some hits. Are you guys running? Does it matter? Yeah, we might be taking some hits to get some stuff online before we go and do some combat and defend some stuff. It looks like these bases in here, but at this point we have 30 gun turrets, we have modular armor. I am pretty happy that we should be able to get out here and blast these dudes. And we've got a bunch of places that we are also making... we're right on top of the mountain. It just looks weird because forests, yeah. We've got a bunch of places where we are also making surplus grenades. We have medium biters out. Do we have... I'm not seeing any spitters, which is fine. I'm also... not carrying any fish, which is also fine. But red ammo is going to get it done. This is going to give away a bit of evolution, but I think this is the time when we are at least... Yeah, we're at least making the blue science. We are buffering blue science while we're not researching blue science things. Yeah, this one we're going to have to do the traditional way of getting all the worms first and then hoping the attack wave runs at us through the worms, which they did. And now we can go here and also here. And these guys are shooting at my turrets and they should not. And we're fine. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with where we are. We've got the blue science running, it's getting buffered, it's getting to some of the labs. We've got a nasty way of moving blue science to the other labs that we could replace and do better. I think this is a point where I am happy running around doing a bunch of this combat, knowing that the factory is doing good, valuable work behind. That we are supported by responsible industry, that we are on the way towards bots, that we have, built some good things today. These guys I don't want to push yet. These guys, I believe, are just worms that we saw when we dealt with these things. We actually, we're going to need to go down there immediately. I think also, the biters did a nice job of suckering us up to the top side of the map. Did they do that? Did I just decide to nuke these guys myself? But yeah, other than all this beeping, we're going to put this back. We are going to call the episode after deflecting / grenading this attack. We might do a bit more combat between episodes to also clear off some of the other places of tension. And then, then I think the extra iron into blue science thing that we mentioned is... Do I have... I don't have mining drills on me. It's going to be a bit of a shame. We're going to need to take those to rebuild this. Yeah. Cool. Hey, where are you guys going? Not the car. Oh, you got the car. Why am I... There we go. Okay, so we deflected that. We've got a bunch of things we need to put back. All of that is damaged, but fine. We need to fully rebuild this mining outpost. That's not going to be a super interesting thing to watch. So yeah, episode finishes here. We are pretty happy. We have got some of the blue science stuff running. We've got lubricant. We've got advanced oil cracking. We have... that was badly done. Do we have... We've got solid fuel going into the power grid, so that's super cool. Are we at... We're still not even using enough gas, so we're still pumping out the solid fuel here as well, which is also a thing that I guess we extended the refineries as well. Yeah, a couple of things to build, a couple of things to shoot. Overall, progressing towards development and bots. This power line that got destroyed was actually the power line that we de-artosified around the other side of the base, so that was super cool. And yeah, I guess we're going over here as well. Yeah, overall, I think we are pretty happy. I mean, this water is interesting. I'm still going to have to figure out where to defend. Oh, well, I think we are pretty fine and happy, and these bugs are not.